Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to school. I'm so glad you are here. We are actually on Instagram Live as well, so if anybody have any questions about your nonprofit or grant writing, again, it's been, over a week now, and I'm still high from grant writing school, the conference. It was amazing, and I think Melanie is here with us this morning. Melanie, we gave a lot of tips on grant writing on the last session. So if you will, I want you to share some of those in a moment, but I want to thank those who are on the call, and we're actually on Instagram Live. Some people are waving. I'm waving back. My other phone is ringing as well. So let me put this on ignore. How's everybody doing today?
I'm well.
Okay, good. That's good to hear. Everybody on Instagram, wave it and thumbs up. That's good. Thank you so much. So I'm going to start again by thanking you for being on this call. I know some of you have many other things you could be doing, but you want to be on this call because this is, guess what? This is a grant writing school. This is an hour, or sometimes we don't even spend an hour on this call, however long it takes, that you get to ask any questions about your nonprofit. If you're thinking about starting a nonprofit, look, ask me. I've been in this business for over 20 years, and I say business because it is a business. A lot of people don't think of it as a business. When you start your nonprofit, it is a business. There's so many things that you have to learn how to work this as a business, because just because it says nonprofit doesn't mean you should not be making a profit. And for those of you on Instagram, let me slide this over so I can be looking at you, because I'm multitasking and doing a couple of things at once. If you want to come on and ask me a question on Instagram, just request it. And also, this hour session that we have is also about grant writing. Any questions you want to know about grant writing, if you have a question, a lot of people are afraid to do any kind of grant writing. When we had our conference last week, we had 14 people apply for the $1,000 grant. And I could tell just by the comments from the grant reviewers, and then when I sent the emails back to everyone who had applied for the grant and sent them their grant scoring sheets back, I could tell that a lot of people had never written a grant. A lot of times we're so passionate about what we do that we're able to talk about it, and people can feel it when we talk about it, but they got to feel it when they see it on paper too, because that's the only way they're going to see you when you're writing a grant, is a grant that you write. So you have to put all those thoughts, all those feelings. Your words have to paint a picture for the funder. They need to feel how you feel when you saved somebody's life, or how you felt when you were able to keep somebody from, getting out of abusive relationships, or from, losing their home, or from homelessness to being in a home. So all those things matter when you are writing a grant. So I'm going to invite Melanie on the line. If you want to jump in, Melanie, and share some of the things that we shared in the session, in the grant writing session last week, in the grant writing school. Let's talk about some of the things that they missed. Let's do that first, because it's the little things that people do when they're writing grants that they don't pay attention to. So, Melanie, you start, and I'll just chime in. I'll just jump in.
Reading the RFP. Actually reading it and following through with what it says.
Okay.
Several people
Let me stop you right there. Hold on. Let me stop you right there. Reading the RFP. Now, I laughed when she said that. RFP, for those of you who have never written a grant, it means request for proposal. The funder is inviting you to write them a proposal. And Melanie said something key, reading the RFP. I don't know why, Laquita, you're online and you're calling me. Why are you calling me? I don't understand. Let me put her on speaker. Hold on. Hello, Laquita, how are you? She's butt dialing me. That's what's going on. She don't know she's calling me because she's looking at me online. I'm like, how are you calling me? And you calling me on the phone. Okay, so reading the RFP, reading the request for proposal. You read it. All you see is a dollar sign. Oh, my God, this grant is for $10,000. I'm going to apply for this. I'm going to believe God that I'm going to get this grant. All right, request to be in your video. Oh, let me bring this person in. Let me finish my thought. So you read the RFP, but when you read the RFP, you need to read it over and over and over again. Get a highlighter, get a pen or something. Highlight things that they say. One of the things that people miss, and I'm going to have Melanie chime in a minute, it said, return this proposal to this email. It specifically gave you the email you're supposed to return it to. I'm gonna just Melanie chime in because
yeah, you got to read it 3 times is what I always tell people. Read it all the way through. Then the second time go through with the highlighter and the little Post-it notes to mark the pages. And then the third time, make you a task list. Yes. So when is it due? How do they want it? Do they want it in PDF? Do they want it in Word? Do they not even say? What's the page limit? What's the font? I mean, all those little things, they can get it thrown out.
Yes, all of that. Okay. Somebody question, Jordan, how are you? I'm doing good. Let me take you off my earpiece so everybody can hear your question. 1 second. I'm going to disconnect my earpiece because only I can hear you. Okay, great. You are live. Did you have a question?
Yes. I'm very interested in seeing how it started. Because I've been watching you for a while, and you were good.
Okay, your phone is breaking up a lot. I don't know if it's my connection, but I heard that you said you were interested in, and then it broke up again.
Yes, I'm interested in how I can go about and start the process and do all my research, so all the good stuff, knowledge I put out to body and the story. So just want to get the process.
Okay, so great. So you're interested in starting your nonprofit. First, I always ask people what kind of nonprofit you're thinking about starting. What do you plan to do?
Well, so I'm planning we do a lot of stuff overseas. My goal is to try to get back to the really needy people. There's a lot of people that for less than $1 a day. I know people that 25 cents a day can be a lot for them.
Okay.
Talking about kids go, barefoot stuff like that. So,
okay. It's breaking up a lot, so I'm picking up every other word you're saying, but I heard the gist of what you said. You want to start a nonprofit to help people overseas. And I'm also picking up an accent, so I'm imagining it's, maybe one of the islands. Is it a U.S. island that's a part of the U.S. or Jamaica? Okay. Okay, great. So for you got you're going to be wearing 2 different hats. Because you'll start your nonprofit, and I know a lot of people, and I've helped a lot of people start nonprofits that you go and do, some of them call it missions, and some of them just call it giving back. They want to get back to where they were born. They know people are less fortunate here, and so yeah, that's definitely something you could do. That's very easy to start your nonprofit. The part that I always tell people is maintaining your nonprofit. So that's something that you and we can do a one-on-one. You can email me. You can go to my website, arethasimons.com. Just shoot me an email, and I'll call you. Because if I say I'm going to call you today, I'm not going to remember. But, yeah, I'll call you, and then we'll dialogue, and I'll just, I can walk you through the steps. But then just walking you through the steps, we still got to talk about, how you're going to maintain it and what you're going to do. Let's make a long-range plan as well.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah,
okay. All right. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, take care. You look great. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so that was a great question. A lot of people thinking about starting a nonprofit, and I always tell people too, if you have a nonprofit right now, October, November, December is the best time for you to be getting donations. Believe it or not, this last quarter in the year, people are really in the giving mode. People are really generous during Thanksgiving, Christmas time. So it's the best time to be asking for funding. If you have not started asking, make your wish list and start asking. I know there are people in business who are getting ready to remodel and have massive, sales, and what they don't sell, they donate it to nonprofits. So just be, thinking about that. And if you don't if you haven't started the process of getting your donations letter ready, then start doing that and get ready for January, because January people are still in the giving mode, thinking about income tax time, who they're going to give with. I want to get back to Melanie. Let's talk about this grant proposal. What are some of the other mistakes? Reading the RFP. Read the RFP at least 3 times. Hey, Tisha. What are some of the other mistakes that people, just didn't, pay attention to when they started writing those grants?
Sending in the attachments that were asked. So some people, you asked for the 501c3. Instead, they sent like the state tax exempt form or the state annual report.
Okay, great. That's another one, good one. So when you are writing a grant, pay attention to those little details. If they say send a copy of your 501c3 letter, make sure you send that 501c3 letter. And I tell people, when you get that letter, you're never, ever going to get that letter again. So if you lose it, then you ask the IRS for another copy. They're going to send you a letter saying, yes, you're a 501c3, but it won't be that original letter that shows the date and time it was stamped, your EIN on it, with you were incorporated, that official 501c3 letter. So once you get it, make multiple copies, keep some in your glove compartment, keep some in your safe, because when it's time for a grant and they ask for that letter, they want that letter. That's the official letters that they want. So a lot of people will send, in Florida, we have something called the sales tax exemption letter. A lot of churches can get it without being a 501c3. There are about 30 states in the U.S. that can get the sales tax exemption. That's why a lot of churches don't apply for the 501c3, but they're missing out on a lot of grants. Plus, when I give a big check, I want to know your 501c3 so I can write up for my taxes. I'm just saying. So send that official letter. Don't send anything else. Don't say, oh, I can't find my 501c3, so I'm just going to send my articles of incorporation. They'll know we at least were incorporated. No, you're going to go in. Scarf scan. Don't send your bylaws in. Don't send anything that they do not request. That's the big thing. If they don't request, some people sent me extra stuff. They sent me links to their websites when in a separate email when it was already on the RFP. So just pay attention to those little things. Give me something else that they missed, Melanie.
Instead of sending the 990, some of them sent you like their budget, their organizational budget, and or sent you like the snapshot from the IRS that says that they filed their postcard, but it didn't actually show that it had, they didn't open it up and actually show you.
Okay.
And when you send stuff in, one person sent in their 501c3, but they took a picture of it with their phone. So it was only like the middle portion of the page. It wasn't even the whole page.
Yes. So when you send documents, make sure those documents are legible, because you need help, and you don't know who that grant reviewer is, and they need to print it out. So you need to make sure everything's legible, make sure nothing's cut off. Also, if they send you a fillable form, everything is electronic now. We're in a virtual world, so all the requests for proposal or the grant proposals are electronic. So you probably can type on them. Do not handwrite on them. I don't have a good handwriting, so I'm never going to send anything handwritten in. And you may think you have a good handwriting, but you may be getting somebody who has astigmatism that can't read, numbers and things like that. So just pay attention to those little things. It really, really does make a difference. So I want to open up the Q&A for questions. We have some questions on the line. If you have a question, just chime in. And if you have a question on Instagram, just ask to be viewed, or you can type it in this little thing here. So turn on comments. Sorry. Go ahead. Jean, did you have a question today?
No, I'm just thinking today. I'm just listening to right now.
Okay, you're just thinking today.
I'm thinking of something today.
Okay. Well, tell me, Jean, what was your experience at the conference? How did you feel about the conference, and what were your takeaways from it?
My takeaway was, we're trying to work on towards getting a building for our food pantry, and I realized when it comes to, I've done the donation letters and things like that, but it helped me to understand the big picture, being sure they feel your story. And also I was just so, God, the testimony by Claudia helped me realize we weren't ready to go after a federal grant, even though that was in my sight when she came on talking about the foundation. And right now I realize our board is not where it needs to be, and even to apply for a federal grant. So my takeaway was that I need to go back over our bylaws. I have not looked at them in a while. Just her talking helped me to realize that I had a grant come through, we wouldn't have been ready. So my thing is I'm going back to the foundational stuff and beginning to really realize, look at the bylaws and understand what it takes there. So, but I'm honest right now. I'm a little frustrated because I'm on the board, and we sent out donation letters. But, I realized our board people are not connected. I think I sent out over 50, and most of the people I sent out responded. And there's 8 of them, and I don't think they've had 2 or 3 response. So that has been, I'll be honest with you, I read this one, okay, wow, we have a board that's not connected to anybody that could give us donation. So I guess what I'm thinking, that's where I'm at this morning, that I need to really look at our board, and they need to have understanding that you need to be connected to somebody that can help us with these donations, So I'm just back at down one that went around, but to look at the foundation, God, it needs to be solid. Sister Claudia made me realize you better have all your ducks in a row. Thank you.
You said a mouthful. Well, and then she said thank you and dropped the mic. Man, that was a mouthful. Your board of directors. I mean, sometimes it's time for a shift. When it comes to your board, you need to reevaluate every year and their commitment. That's right there. Your board of directors' job is to keep the organization healthy financially, and so
God,
evaluate their commitment every year. I think we need to do a workshop on board development and have your board members come in and just find out where the heart is, because a lot of times people, especially, I'm going to say this, there's a lot of educated people that will get on board just to they're a board member of this organization, they're not doing anything. And then you have some people who are very, very passionate. It could be some of your volunteers who are very, very passionate. Maybe they need to be on the board. So it's just you got to reevaluate every year where people are at. Now, I want to go back to something. You said something very powerful, Jean, that you sent out donation letters. Your donation letters, I would love to see a copy of it.
Okay. I would love to do that.
Yeah, if you can email me that, you can see my email on grantwritingschool.org, or just email me at arethasimons@gmail.com, because your donation letter, I want to see how you ask, and I want to see what you ask for, because a lot of times we don't ask right, if that makes sense. So I would love to.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, okay, and provide you some feedback. But yes, Claudia really opened some people's eyes, because a lot of times we say we want $1 million and what we can do with $1 million and millions of dollars from the government. I mean, there is so much money out here, and yes, there's grant money for everything, but you got to be ready and
grant ready. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We're not. Thank you, Sister Aretha. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing. That was. If anybody didn't get anything, I hope you got something from that. Melanie, did you have any questions or comments that you wanted to share as well? What was some of your takeaways from the conference?
No, she said quite a bit. Thank you for that. It's scary whenever you have the heart and the passion and you care so much about your organization, for you to actually be able to realize that we need to have movers and shakers on our board. In my board statement of give, get, or get off. And then also realizing that just because you have the heart and passion for the organization, you got to be able to get that out there to where other people know that you're sustainable and that you are doing what you say you're doing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Board members, give, get, or get
off. Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So that's powerful. I think that we might need to have just a conference just on that, or a 90-minute conference on board development. Give, get, or get off. So we're looking for that. For those of you on the line who I'm just doing the Instagram live. I haven't done this. This is just my second time. I'll start getting more. I'm good in the background, doing the work in the background. But go to grantwritingschool.org. Sign up. We have a session on November 7th. It's 1 hour, and then November 24th. It's only $47. We're going to be helping you write your one-page grant proposal. And then we'll build on that as we go on. But if somebody says, send me a proposal, are you ready? Now, you're used to looking for RFPs where they're requesting you to fill out their form. But if somebody who has money, because this just happened to somebody I know, say, oh, send me a proposal. And they're like, oh, what do I do? They want me to send them, what do I need to send them? So you're not even ready. You don't even have your one-page proposal ready. So we're going to do that on November 7th. That's right. Somebody asked me, can you give an example of how to ask for grant money? Oh, man, it just depends on – that's the thing. You might have different letters. It depends on who you're asking. If you're asking – you're going to ask a grocery store probably for food, right? You won't ask that to a furniture store. So it just depends. All your ask letters should be different to whoever you're asking, and that's one of the tools that you learn in grant writing school. So it's different. If you need food, you're going to ask the grocery store for that. You may ask them for money as well. But if you need furniture, your donation letter won't be the same. And so, and that's your question was, give me an example of how to ask for grant money. It's not an ask for grant money. A grant, let me just say that a grant is a gift. So it can come in form of a money, or it can come in form of non-monetary donations, which are, like I said, furniture, food, clothing, whatever you need, whatever your nonprofit needs. So thank you for putting that in there. Laquita, board members give, get, or get off. Very, very powerful. That was a great question from I got off. The Phoenix 516. Thanks for asking that question. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. Everybody who's on the caller queue is muted. I know a lot of people on the caller queue on our conference call. We have our conference call every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come. If you go to grantwritingschool.org, you can sign up and you'll get an email reminder of the call, either by text or by phone. So make sure you join us. This is a free class today. This is the free class that you get every Monday. So keep coming back to Grant Writing School. Again, go to the website, grantwritingschool.org. Sign up for the class. Learn how to write your proposals. Learn what to say. Learn the art of storytelling. On paper is so different. We could talk all day. I could feel you. You could feel me right through this computer, right through this phone. But when you have to write it on paper, every word matters, and it matters how you say it. It matters how you tell your story, and you have a story. All of us have a story. And the heart of your story, when you come to your nonprofit, is your why. Why do you want to do what you do? Why did you decide to help those people? The young man that came on earlier, why do you want to help people overseas? He said, some of those people make $1 a day. But why does it matter to you? What affects you? Why does it prick your heart to see that? And for Jean, they're feeding people. Why do you want to feed people? We know, people are hungry and people are starving, but what's your why? You have to be able to say that on paper. So we're going to keep building on your grant proposals as you come to Grant Writing School. We're opening up the $1,000 grant every quarter, so it's going to open up January 1st. I think when we start opening up, we're going to give you less and less time to apply. You know why? Because you should always be grant ready.
Okay.
Yes.
Be grant ready.
Yeah.
All right.
You should always be grant ready. And that's business. That's a part of having. If you want to have a nonprofit, that's a part of being in that business. Being ready. Yes.
And I'd like to share, I realized as Melanie was talking, I did my budget wrong because it said sample budget, and I took it to be for the whole project, and I listed it. And I understand it should have been specific to what I was asking for the money, the $1,000. Is that my understanding? Should have spelled out in the budget is what I want to use the $1,000 for, not my whole budget. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, yeah. So I learned that. I know now.
Good. So Jean, those of you who are watching me on Instagram Live and who will see this on replay, Jean just gave you one of the tools that she learned at Grant Writing School. When it asks for your budget, sometimes they'll ask for your full operational budget, or sometimes they'll say, this grant is for $1,000. So you want to give them your budget. You'll take your $60,000 budget and pull from that just $1,000 and put what you need for that $1,000. So it's just so many little things and so many little mistakes that you can make that cause you to lose those points and not get the money that you need. And we all need money, even the $1 million, there's $800 million nonprofits out there. They need money, and they're still asking for money every day. So we all need money. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? In Instagram, you can send me a little note or request to come on live. Thank you for coming on live and watching this. And those of you who watch on the replay, make sure you go to grantwritingschool.org and follow us on Facebook and continue to come online every Monday. Any comments or questions on the conference call?
And since I've been away from my email, I should have results from my sheet from the proposal. I should have a copy of that.
Yes, and if you didn't,
check
your junk mail. I did send them out. I sent them out Saturday after the conference. That night, I sent them out.
Oh, okay.
If you didn't, you could, send me an email and I'll resend them.
Okay.
Someone sent me, and that's another thing. If I can say this, someone put on their grant application an email that did not work.
Oh, wow.
And the email kept bouncing back to me. And so I had to call that person and say, hey, I'm trying to email you. That email doesn't work because we haven't set up the website yet. That's what the email is going to be. I'm like, okay. So this is just me you're sending it to. But eventually I'm going to have $10,000 grants. And so, come on now. It's little things. I love to have you back on my podcast. Absolutely. Brian. Oh, I should have known you're the Phoenix Rising. That's Brian. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Here to support and learn. I appreciate it. Kim, you are the best. I really appreciate it. So this has been great. Those of you on Instagram Live, watching on the replay, I don't know if you could share it. I'm still learning all this social media stuff. Hey, anybody that is a guru at social media, call me. I need help. So, because it's just like not my thing. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this session. So, Grant Writing School is over for today. Again, come back again on Monday and also follow us on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram at Aretha Simons. Go to grantwritingschool.org. Sign up for the class on November 7th and 21st. I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to end this. Oh, there you go. End. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grant Writing School. I'm on the conference call line, and I have Instagram Live here. So if anybody has any questions, just type them in the room on Instagram, and I'll look over every now and then. But I'm here for the conference call. People call on the conference call every Monday. We're on the conference call every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to answer your questions about your nonprofit. Any question you have about grant writing. I want to jump back in from the conversation I had this morning with a few people. It was so interesting. We talked about the conference from last Saturday, October 24th, and how, some of the takeaways from the conference. And there was a lot of good feedback, especially about the grant. We gave away a $1,000 grant. We had 14 people to apply. And from the people who applied for the grant, I could tell many of them had never written a grant. And you know that by the simple things, the simple mistakes that they made. And when I say mistakes, I'm not talking about, a typing error or anything like that. I'm talking about an instruction. The instructions on the grant proposals or the grant requests are very specific, and you have to follow them, because when you don't, you're asking an investor to invest in you, and they're thinking, well, you're not even paying attention. Hi, Melissa. It's good to see you, my classmate from high school. It's good to see you. So I want to find out from the people who are on the line what are some of the takeaways from the conference last week. Melanie, you were at the conference. You actually helped facilitate one of the grant writing sessions with myself. Did an excellent job, by the way. I don't know if I gave you enough kudos, but did an excellent job. What were some of your takeaways, or what are some of the common mistakes that people made that they could have made a difference on their grants?
Well, one thing was, like you said, reading, but also a simple thing like the budget. It said request for proposal for the amount of $1,000. And people did budgets for like their whole program. They did budgets for, everything underneath the sun. There's only maybe like out of the 14, I think there was like 3 that did it for the $1,000.
Wow. So I hope you all heard that. So out of 14 people who applied for the grant proposal, for the grant, if we were really strict, we could have thrown the other ones out and just looked at the 3 that followed the instructions just for the amount they're supposed to ask for. Because when it says, the grant is for $1,000, then you make your $30,000 budget. You put in your $30,000 budget just the $1,000 that you need, unless the grant proposals specifically say provide us your operational budget, provide us, 2 budgets, a budget for this and a budget for that. So you really have to pay attention. What were some of the other takeaways from that, Melanie?
Not giving us the correct paperwork. So you asked for their 501c3 and their 990 and their board of directors. But how you asked for the board of directors was very simple, of just title, name and title. And we got everything underneath the sun. Some people gave us their articles of incorporation. One person gave us their bylaws. And I was like, okay. And a strategic plan. One person gave a whole strategic plan.
That's another one. When a grant reviewer is reviewing, multiple grants, they don't have time for any of the extra stuff. Plus, you give them what they specifically ask for. That's another big thing. You give them only what they ask for. We know you're trying to give them more. You're trying to, provide more information to make your case, but only give them what they ask for. And also, when they ask specifically for your 501c3, make sure that you give them a copy of that original 501c3. I cannot say that enough. So we have some people on the line. I want to see if there's any questions that we have on the line. Feel free. The lines are open. Feel free to ask your question if you have a question or a comment.
Hi, my name is Katina, and a friend of mine, Miss Avon, actually sent me your information to listen in on the call today. So this is my first time here. And the reason she sent it to me is that I'm trying to assist my mother, and she's wanting to start a foundation. So I'm going to be meeting with her to get the paperwork and everything done. My stepfather was a former NFL player, and we lost him back in March of this year. So she's wanted to do a foundation in honor of him.
Okay.
And so that's just one of the things, is just with being a new, or with any new foundation that starts, how is it for how easy or hard, or it just doesn't matter for a foundation that's just newly starting to apply and obtain grants or any type of funding?
I'm so glad you asked that question. First of all, I'm sorry for your loss, and thank you for sharing that with us. My heart goes out to
Thank you.
Your family, especially during this time, during this season. For people who are starting foundations, this is just me. When I speak to my clients and they come to me and they say, we want to start a foundation, especially in the memory of someone or in honor of someone, and then you say the second part that you want to apply for grants, I kind of stop you, because when you hear the word foundation, or when other people hear the word foundation, they think of, hey, this is somebody that we can get money from. This is someone that we need to be asking for money. So
Okay.
I'm not trying to get you to change the name, but I'm telling you the mentality of people. When you just, you're going to be actually looking for money to put into that foundation. Am I correct?
Correct.
So I would be careful of how you name the organization and using the word foundation, because when people see that word foundation, they're going to say, hey, this is the place we can get money from. They're going to always be soliciting you all for money.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so what is an alternate, I guess, tag to instead of the word foundation?
Right. Great question. What's an alternate word do you use? You could use fund, because when you hear the word fund, that sounds like you're putting money into a fund rather than taking money out, a foundation giving money out, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you were to say, what's your last name, if you don't mind?
Stevens.
So I would say Katina Stevens Fund instead of Katina Stevens Foundation.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
Okay.
Okay.
No, I was going to say, because the foundation it's going to be right, but
right.
You're just giving an example, so I'm good.
Exactly. I was just giving an example. So someone said that's a great idea to honor your loved one. So great idea. Did you have any other questions, Katina?
I guess, like I said, we're supposed to be meeting with the young lady Thursday. So what information? So when I say this is literally like the beginning of it, so is it that we still have to apply for an EIN number?
Yes.
I guess go through the state.
When you say you're meeting with someone, they're going to do your paperwork, right?
Right. So I'm just trying to help my mom to make sure they have everything that she's going to need, as far as like what information are they going to need to set this up.
Whoever you're meeting with should give you that information that you need to bring her, which I'm sure she probably already gave that to your mom. But she will tell you the steps that she's going to take, and it is incorporating on the state level. It is getting your EIN and then applying for the 501c3 on the federal level. So those will be the 3 steps. But I'm sure she's already told your mom what she will need to bring as far as the board of directors' names, their titles, and their addresses, and what you're going to do, who you're going to help, the who, what, where, when, and how. And so all of that information.
Okay.
Kim just asked me, what about a trust? The same thing. Usually trusts are set up with people who have a whole lot of money, and they leave the trust, and they set up a trust because they want to set it up for us to go to specific people. So that's usually why and the purpose of people starting trusts as nonprofits. So that was a good question, Kim. Kim asked me that on Instagram. Katina, did you have any other questions? It's a great time to ask. I hope I answered your question. I hope you know what your mom should be bringing to the young lady that you're going to see.
Right, right. So, yeah, that's one to just make sure on that. So I guess I'm just trying to be prepared for her.
Okay.
So she's been talking about different things and purpose and all of that.
Okay.
But it just I'm more of an analytical person. Like, okay, we need to make sure to have this structure, this information, and I just want to make sure what it was that she was needing and the
Very
best
good.
route to take.
Very good.
So I will definitely make that suggestion.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
She's going to meet some analytical people. Are you going to be on the board as well?
Yes. Yes, she asked me to be on the board.
Okay. So keep in mind, that's a very good question that I asked you. Keep in mind, so is you and your mother on the board. You will have to have 3 other people who are not related to you and your mother, because you can have family members on the board, but they cannot be the majority rule when it comes to voting. So you have to have 3 other people who aren't related to you and your mother by blood or marriage. And you don't have to stop at 3 to have 5. You just have to have an odd number of people, and the family cannot be majority rule.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Is there a particular site, or I don't know if you do any other additional trainings as far as where to look for funding?
Oh yeah. That's what we teach you all in grant writing school. There's lots of sites you can go to. First of all, you have to know what you're looking for. You can't just look for grants. You have to know your keyword. What specifically are you looking for? And for yours, I don't know what the fund or the foundation is going to be set up to do. Can you tell me a little bit about what the purpose of the foundation is? And that will kind of tell me what grants you should be looking for, because when you look for grants, you're going to use keywords.
Okay. One thing that, and this is something that both of them did, is that they would go out, buy food, and just feed people, anyone that was in need. So she's wanting to do something to where she could provide food for persons in need. And then on the flip side, she wants to be able to start like a scholarship fund, because one thing that I would just say, I'm used to calling him Pop G, but Gordon, what he did was he was really a champion for cancer.
Wow.
Any kind of cancer, generally breast cancer, to the point that he had pink hair.
Wow.
But that was just something he did because of his mother passed away from breast cancer. So that was something that he kind of picked up and championed. So she's wanting to do set up like scholarships for persons who want to go into a field that would deal with either medical or either some type of community relations.
Okay.
So it's kind of like educational, and then feeding. And it may not necessarily be homeless. Sometimes you have a working homeless, even those persons who are, which is almost like the thing. I don't want to say the thing, but it's becoming more prevalent because of what's going on now, and it's really people needing people, and she's wanted to kind of help do what they would normally did.
That's right. So you said a lot of things. So you got a lot of key words here. You got education. You have housing. You have food. You have nutrition. There's a lot of different key words. So you will be looking up grants for those specific things. And the websites you would go to, one of my main go-to websites is the Foundation Center. So you can Google Foundation Center. It is, if you want to really get really behind the scenes, it is a membership organization, and I would not get the membership yet until you're ready to really dive deep into grant writing. If you want to take a peek at it, you can do that through the public library, just use it for an hour and look at it. But there's thousands and thousands of funders on that website. And so you would just narrow it down to your city or your keyword. There's different ways to narrow it down. And if you speak to a young lady and you have other questions, you can feel free to reach out to us, through grantwritingschool.org, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on the line. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And,
I'm glad she gave it to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Do you live in Ocala?
No, I live in Bushnell. My mother actually lives in Orlando.
Okay, excellent.
And
all right, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Bushnell is in the Sumter County where the Villages is. Most people are familiar with the Villages.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on the call. We have quite a few callers on the line tonight. Anyone have any questions or comments? Just chime in. You're unmuted tonight. And if you'd like to mute yourself, you can press *6. Questions or comments?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hi, it's Sharetta from Cleveland.
Hey, Sharetta, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing well. Yourself.
Great.
And my question is, I have someone asking about forming a 501c3, and they already have a LLC, and they were they're determined to use the LLC. I asked them to send me the paperwork so I can see everything, and they said their LLC is a nonprofit, but I said I need to see it. But I know that I guess you can convert. Will work as a 501c3 with the LLC. But aren't there still a lot of like stipulations within your LLC before you could file as a 501c3 having a LLC?
I am glad you said that, and I'm glad you got that client because it will definitely push you to let them say, no, this is what you can do and this is what you can't do. That information you asked, and I will say this, Sharetta is one of my certified nonprofit consultants. She took the course many, many years ago, so she does 501c3s. So Sharetta, if you go to the IRS instruction, and they just updated the instructions for 2020, they will tell you specifically, don't look at the question, look at the instructions about the LLC. There's certain things you cannot do, and that's what you have to tell your client. Hey, this is what the IRS says now. Now tell me, based on what they're saying, show them in black and white. Based on what they're saying, what will you be doing now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you show them that specifically, word for word. That's a great question.
Gotcha.
So we know as consultants, we want to do everything to get our client approved. So part of that is really showing them in black and white what the IRS is saying so that they can get approved the first time. We don't want any questions coming back. We don't want any questions from the IRS.
Right.
Right. And thank you for coming on the line tonight.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? So Melanie chimed in a little early. I do want to let you know that Melanie is also a grant writer who's on our team. If you go to multiplyingtalents.com, you'll see how to reach both Sharetta and Melanie if you need grant writing services or 501c3 services. Multiplyingtalents.com. Go to multiplyingtalents.com. And you can find out how to reach them either by phone, their phone number's on there, and their email. So thank you both for coming on the line tonight. Do we have any other questions or comments? I know y'all not watching the news. You're here with me tonight. I know y'all not watching the news. So let me mention what's coming up November 7th. Make sure you go to grantwritingschool.org, sign up for the class. We have a 1-hour class. Actually, it's about 90 minutes on November 7th and the 21st. It's only $47. We're going to teach you how to write a one-page proposal. It's very clear. Thanks for asking that. I don't know, but appreciate that. Somebody just asked me on Instagram if I'm going to make another run for mayor. Who knows? I'm open to everything. I'm the type of person, when I make up my mind to do something, jump. And right now, I'm doing what's pulling me, what's pulling at me. And right now, this is pulling at me, helping people, in the nonprofit world, which is what I've been doing for 20 years. For those of you who do not know, I've been doing 501c3s and grant writing for 20 years. So thank you for following me and asking me that question. So November 7th and the 21st, we are going to have the 90-minute course. From that course, one of the things that I'm going to do, and maybe I shouldn't mention it now, but every time we have a course, you have an opportunity to win something. It could be money, and what a grant is a gift, right? Sometimes it comes in the form of money, sometimes it comes in the form of non-monetary, but you also get an opportunity to have a one-on-one with me, which is priceless. I would say it's priceless, and I can help you in any area that you need. So go to grantwritingschool.org, sign up for the class on November 7th or the 21st. We have to get ready. And I always say, let me stop, not get ready. You have to be ready to be ready. You always have to be ready to be ready. And I said this earlier today, that when we open up the grant again in January, I'm going to shorten the time, because I think a lot of times people wait to the last minute and then they turn in the grant and they miss simple things. So if you're ready, then when the grant opens up, then you can just turn in your grant proposal and, make sure you've read it 3 times and you highlighted things and, have a successful grant and win that money to help your community. So for those of you who did not get the $1,000 grant, you should have gotten your letter back. Out of the 14 people, I do want to say 4 people said thank you to me. And when I say to me, to Grant Writing School, it's very important, if you get denied for a grant, to always send a thank you letter, because you don't know how that affects the person who's reviewed your grant or the company. They may say, you know what, I really like them. They were like number 2. And this thank you letter, I know somebody else that's going to make a difference. And I will tell you this, one of the guys that came back and said thank you, he said thank you right away. I found 2 other funders that he was eligible to apply for, and I sent him the information. So you don't know how this is, we all talk to each other. Everybody in the nonprofit world, in the grant writing world, we talk to each other. So always say thank you. Always find out why you got denied. In our case, we sent the grant scoring sheet so people knew where they made the mistakes at. I know, guys, I'm not looking at you on Instagram. I'm looking over here. They know where they made their mistakes. So always, if you don't get the grant scoring sheet, always ask, and always follow up with a letter. Thank you for the opportunity to review my grant. Although we did not receive the grant, we thank you for your time that you took. We'll continue to doing the great work that we do in our community. Something very simple, but just say thank you. This is other people's time that they took to review your grant, and it was not easy. I have 2 of my grant reviewers on here. One was way in Cleveland. When she was reviewing somebody's grant, she said, oh, I know this organization. I know a grant that they could be eligible for. So guess what? They made a connection. So even though that person did not win our grant, there was a connection there. This world is small. This world is a lot smaller than you know it is, or than we think it is. So there's always connection. People know other people, and we're all connected somehow. I want to open up the line again. If anybody has any questions or any comments, feel free to. And also, if you want to join me on Instagram, just let me know. Questions or comments on the call line?
Can you hear me?
Oh, this is
Yes.
Hi, this is William Craig III, and I am so happy to be on this call with all of the wonderfully smart and intelligent and passionate people who are trying to make a difference in this world. I just got to say, I just got my ticket for Saturday class, and I am so excited. I'm looking forward to being a part of this great training. Thank you, Aretha, for all that you always do to help enlighten us and to make the world a better place.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on all the way from Maryland. We got Ohio on the line. We got Florida. We got Tennessee. We got Maryland. Thank you, William. William, oh my God, William does so much. He's also a certified nonprofit consultant and does much more than that. Voiceovers and any kind of video editing or you name it, he can help you with. So thank you for coming on, and thank you for registering for the class. I hope you win the one-on-one session with me, but that depends on how well you do on your one-page grant proposal.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us this evening. Any other questions? Look, I'm going to cut it short. You guys, some of you it's late where you are, but I'm actually out of town, so it's still early. Hi, Carla. So if you have any other questions or comments, feel free while the line is open. Otherwise, it's great to see you, Carla. I miss Dallas so much. You can feel free to ask your question on the call line. Call lines are open. Melanie, did you have any other comments, any other feedback, takeaways?
Not this evening.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
And Sharetta, I have one more question. For the classes being offered, they're individual. You don't have to attend one or to attend the other.
So for the Saturday class that's coming up?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, awesome. So Saturday class it's going to be the same. If you attend the one on the 7th, it's going to be the same thing on the 21st.
Okay. Because I want to just email a couple of people and let them know. So, but probably done 501c3s for also looking for funding or how to apply.
Right.
So okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm definitely going to switch it up on next month, but we'll have short classes like that every month, and then of course they're the master classes for people who have a little bit of experience or want to do this as a business model. They're the master classes that are available. But if you don't know anything about grant writing, just come to the 1-hour classes and just kind of get into learning what you need to put on a grant proposal, how to ask your donation letters, your thank you letters, where to find grants, and then we do a lot more than that. You have to even learn the language, how to speak the nonprofit and the grant world language as well. So the classes are always great, and the beautiful thing about all of our classes, we record them, and once you attend the class, you do get a recording of the class. So you don't leave the class thinking, you know what, that was so great, but now I don't remember what she said. So that's one good thing about all of our classes. We do record them, and you get the recording of the class. So I believe that's where it's weight and gold there. Any other questions or comments? Okay, no questions or comments on Instagram. Okay, those of you watching on the replay, make sure you go to grantwritingschool.org, sign up, share the information, share grantwritingschool.org. If you want to have a reminder of the Monday calls, sign up on grantwritingschool.org. You'll see the link that says Ask Aretha, sign up. Unfortunately, the way the website is set up with the GoDaddy, you have to sign up for each week that you want to be reminded via text or email. I just wanted to say thank you all for coming online. I know you could be doing other things, especially the night before the election. You could be throwing an election night watch party or something like that. But I appreciate you all for being on the line, and I will see you in Grant Writing School next week. Have a good evening, everybody.
Yes, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my God. Oh, I did.